So, Stephen, let's get this straight. You're CEO of HotelServices for Africa and the Middle East, and you're also CEO of New Business for AccorHotels. So 2 roles, so a lot going on in your space at the moment. But I was really interested to hear from Sébastien Bazin 4 weeks ago, your CEO, who spoke about, and he was speaking at our AHIF Conference in Buenos Aires, and he was talking about you just can't keep still. You've got to change, you've got to disrupt, because we don't want to miss out on the next turn. You know, we lost out to the OTAs. We've lost out to some extent on the sharing economy. So he's really taken a high-level positioning on this. But perhaps you can explain, you know, what does this mean to AccorHotels and your investments that you're doing?
Well, I think it goes back also to a question that Gillian was asking about, faced with the innovation that's going on, what should large groups do? And I guess Sebastian's answer and AccorHotels' answer is you can't sit still, and it's unwise to just forge cooperations or partnerships with suppliers. You have to go beyond that. We believe we have to be an actor, which goes back also to what Bawa was saying earlier on. This does not mean that we are relinquishing our leadership and our role on our core business. The new businesses that we're trying to develop have potential for growth, and so they should contribute to the growth of the whole company on a standalone basis. They should also allow us to transform our core business. Our core business, which is operating hotels, you know that we're going through an asset-light exercise as we speak. It's public. Like we know, we wish to deconsolidate our real estate part, which we still have. But we do want to remain, and we even want to make our leadership as a hotel operator more robust, and the new businesses should contribute to doing that. But it's not enough. I mean, as you see, the press release this morning that perhaps some of you have seen is that we have just confirmed what was a rumor since Monday, that we're making a bid for a large Australian operator, Mantra, about 120 hotels, which will consolidate our leadership position in the Pacific. So we keep going on the core business as well. It's not only about new business.
Okay, well, let's talk about the core business for a moment then. Because last week it was Orient Express.
Yes.
You bought 50% of the brand.
Yes.
So no real estate there, just the brand. So
yes.
You can use that brand potentially on new opportunities, conversions, etc., and use the services of the train as well as experiential services for your clients, which is fantastic. You've just bought, you're in the process of buying Mantra. What's going to happen next week?
Well, Mantra is a big operation. It's under €1 billion. We bought 2 years ago FRHI. That was a $3 billion operation. So I think that what it shows is that whereas a few years ago there was a lot of talk about consolidation meant as big groups getting together, but what Marriott and Starwood have done, we are showing practically through what we're doing a different kind of consolidation. We believe that customers are interested in different brands that provide tailored services for a specific niche, that are marketing specialists, so to speak, in the way they approach the business. And we believe that, and I was interested, for example, in what, I can't remember your name, from Latitudes, showed very interesting stuff. There's regional companies that are succeeding in providing specifically local services to either a local clientele or to international guests interested in a very localized experience. And such groups, at some stage, may require the support of a larger company. And we as a larger company, we may need those brands because we're interested in providing our customer base with such specific services. So I think what we've done is we've complemented our range of brands with Fairmont, Raffles, and Swissôtel, because on the luxury side, we were deemed by the markets to be a little weak. And now we're going for more regional brands. And coming to Africa, to the subject of Africa, I think we are both interested in growing our international brands, that have made the Group Accor historically, like Ibis and Novotel and Sofitel, that still have relevance, definitely, in all the markets. But at the same time, we are very aware that we need local partnerships. And we're in an advanced state of flirting with African partners. So I can't say more, but follow that space.
So Accor Invest is where you're holding the real estate, and that's primarily in Europe, whereas AccorServices is a branded operation, but in Africa, would you put key money in?
Yes, I mean, we recognize, so yes, we are in the process of becoming asset light. It's been announced, it's being done, the shareholders approved it back in June. We're now in the process of embarking investors so that we can deconsolidate. We will keep a stake in Accor Invest. But yes, it is specialized in investing in Europe. For parts of the world like Africa, we as a hotel operator recognize that there might be a specific need to help investors take risks, because we can feel it right now. I think it was discussed in some parts of this conference. A lot of countries are suffering at the moment because of the oil prices. So we know that there will be ups and downs in the future of Africa. As a hotel operator, we recognize that we probably need to help investors take those risks with significant key money. So we're in the process of reflecting upon that, and again, watch that space, because we will be acting.
But you seem to be pretty aggressive now, because Sebastian has specifically come out and said Africa is one of his top markets for development.
Yes. Sebastian is very grateful for some of his predecessors that 30 years ago invested in Brazil, invested in Australia, invested in China, at a time when nobody thought those countries held significant future. And sometimes we endured, in some of those countries, we endured losses for some time. Sebastian wants to leave as a legacy to his successors a more robust presence, significant leadership in Africa. Today, we share that leadership. We're not all that keen on sharing leadership, if we can help it. And so, yes, a strategic priority for Sebastian, and therefore for AccorHotels, is definitely Africa. Olivier Granet, who's the Chief Operating Officer for Africa and the Middle East, based in Dubai, and myself presented a strategy to the board of Accor in Abidjan in June. It was approved. And definitely it will be the strategic development priority for AccorHotels.
So in order to grow, like you're mandated to grow, how are you finding investors on the continent?
We're very lucky at the moment. There's a momentum that has built up. I think ever since really we bought FIHI for some reason, and also perhaps it coincided obviously with Sebastian's arrival. And at the moment we really have investors coming to us in all parts of the world. We're signing record numbers of contracts. We will be opening again this year, just short of 50,000 rooms. And we plan on doing that again, obviously, and more next year, plus the acquisitions we're making. There's a clear momentum at AccorHotels, and I think investors can feel that. So, we have lots of different kinds, and everywhere, investors coming up to us at the moment.
And how are you competing against some of these new concepts that are coming out, which we just saw, those 3 great concepts? What are you doing at Accor to sort of play in that space?
One of the things we do is, well, we're doing two things, I would say. First, we realize that we need to overhaul the way we've handled our traditional brands. And for example, I was previously in charge of Northern Europe and Russia. And one of my babies there is the Novotel Canary Wharf in London, where we've turned Novotel into a true lifestyle brand. So, and we've got examples of Ibis, for example, the Ibis Rabat in Morocco, fantastic example of what Ibis is today, something vibrant, something. So that's the first thing we do. The second thing we do is we are buying stakes in lifestyle brands. So we've done so in Mama Shelter, we've done so in 25 Hours, quite a famous brand in Europe. And we have more stuff coming up. We've teamed up with Rixos. We've created a partnership with Rixos. So I guess what we're also saying comes back to my first point is a lot of local operators have done a great job, and we recognize as a global leader that we know it all, we can do it all. We need the help somehow of these small groups of that know-how, and we're ready to invest in it and help them grow faster.
I saw your Ibis in Cambridge recently.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah,
very clever, very nice.
Yes, that's another one of my baby, and that's a hotel where there is no more reception, no more at all. So you're just walking, and actually some customers are puzzled because they feel they're walking into a coffee shop, and they think, well. And for example, the key card magnetizers are on pillars of the restaurant, so you can hardly see them. It's the staff that do it discreetly. Yeah, great example of a lifestyle hotel.
Gillian mentioned, I think, McKinsey's are saying that hospitality, food, restaurants, accommodation, jobs employed through that sector in so many years is going to be 50%. So we're going to lose 50% of our jobs. Do you believe that?
Gillian said something that I liked. I'll state that first. She said, hindsight does not lead to foresight. And when we come to the new businesses, we can come back now. I loved that. I thought that quote, yes, from McKinsey was rather overstated. I do not believe that half of the jobs in our industry will be performed by robots. I think that clients in a robotized, digitalized world precisely expect in our business human interaction. And obviously, there may be the odd example of a budget hotel or of a high-tech hotel in an airport or something. But globally speaking, I do not believe 1 second what McKinsey has said in 2016.
Well, but it's a real issue, though, isn't it? Particularly on a continent like Africa, where you've got 1.1 billion approximately. It's going to double over the next 20, 30 years. The youth that's coming through in our industry, employing one out of every 10 jobs, is a great incubator for all these youth and looking after them. We got this session later on with YCI.
Yes, and as AccorHotels, we've always been very keen to, as a CSR responsibility, to take part in helping a population to educate itself in terms of hospitality. And we do that in various ways, helping that kind of venture that will be on stage later on.